Age of Mythology has 4 unique giants: the rock giant, mountain giant, frost giant, and fire giant. But have you ever wondered which one is the best? Well, to find out this answer, I created a number of challenges to see which one performs the best in each. And at the end of the video, I will go over the results and give my thoughts and recommendations on which giant I think is the best. So in the first challenge, what I have set up is essentially a 1 versus 1 matchup challenge versus each of the giants. So I'll have the frost giant taking on each of the other giants, mountain giant taking on the rest of them, and so on, and to see who is the best one overall against each other. So as expected, the frost giant does very well against all of the other giants due to its ability to freeze the other units and essentially takes first place in this challenge. Next up, we have the fire giant, and the fire giant it does very well against the rock giant. It does less so against the mountain giant, but is still able to take him out. But the mountain giant was able to put up a little bit of a fight there, so the fire giant takes second place in this challenge. Next up, we have the mountain giant versus the rock giant. These were the only two who did not get a win versus the other two giants. So here we are to determine which one is ultimately the third and fourth place finisher in this challenge. And as you can see, both of these giants are typically known to be good against buildings. However, the mountain giant is also very good against other myth units, whereas the rock giant, it seems, is not quite as good against other myth units. And as a result, the rock giant takes fourth place, and that means the mountain giant takes third place. Now, after the end of the round, this is the results. So as I've said before, the frost giant is first place, fire giant is second place, mountain giant is third place, and the rock giant finishes in last. Next up, we have 3 of the giants versus a town center. What I wanted to see here is how long it would take each of the different giants to defeat the town center. And I was a little bit shocked by the results. The mountain giant, as you can see from the clip, is very, very quick at destroying buildings. And as a result, it takes rank number 1 in this challenge, and it finished with a time of 26 seconds. Now, the frost giant and the rock giant were very close, but in the end, the rock giant ended up squeezing out the frost giant by a few seconds to take second place, meaning the frost giant gets third. And one thing to note is that the rock giant didn't really take any damage due to its ability to regenerate, so that's something to consider as well when choosing the best unit. And surprisingly, to me at least, I was not expecting the fire giant to be coming in last place in this challenge. Now, at the end of this round, I'll show you guys the results. So, as mentioned before, the mountain giant's first, rock giant second, frost giant in third, and fire giant in fourth. In the next challenge, I have each of the giants taking on 5 Ulfsarks. I wanted to see how well they did against a group of units, and essentially the results were not too surprising. I think the fire giant, due to its ability to have a splash attack, did the best, taking rank 1, and the mountain giant actually taking rank 2. I was expecting something a little bit different, but very good for the mountain giant, very impressive. And the frost giant and the rock giant were the slowest 2 giants to defeat the Ulfsarks, but the frost giant was able to do it in third, and then rock giant again coming in last place. And at the end of this round, here are the results: fire giant first, mountain giant second, frost giant in third, and rock giant in last. Now, in the fourth and final challenge, I have each of the giants matching up against a hero unit, and I just wanted to see how much damage they would be able to deal to the Ajax before they died. And mountain giant actually was clearly the number 1. It took the longest to kill, and it did the most damage at 127 damage. And here are the results at the end of this round. The mountain giant's in first, frost giant in second, rock giant in third, and fire giant in last. So after all the tests are done, we have the final results, and it shows that the rock giant comes in fourth place, fire giant coming in third, frost giant in second, and the winner is the mountain giant coming in first place. Now, I'm going to give my thoughts and reactions to this result. First of all, I think the Frost Giant and the Mountain Giant are in a pretty okay position. The Mountain Giant is very good against both buildings and units. I feel like it definitely gets underutilized in certain situations. The Frost Giant, everyone knows, is, it can basically 1v1 any unit out there. So the Frost Giant, Mountain Giant, I feel like personally are in a good position. The Rock Giant is not very strong except for very specific circumstances. It is good at destroying buildings, but if you want to destroy as quick as possible, then in fact the Mountain Giant would be a lot better. And even the Frost Giant is okay as well, but it did manage to retain its HP advantage, so that is something to consider as well. And lastly, the Fire Giant, I feel like it's also not as strong as I was imagining it would be. Maybe that's just because I used to play the extended edition and the Fire Giant was very good there. But I didn't really feel like the Fire Giant was that good against... Well, I guess I was expecting it to do a lot better. It did decently against the other giants, except the Frost Giant, of course. But I think where it really shines is dealing with other units rather than destroying buildings and heroes, of course. But overall, I feel like it's pretty well balanced. I think each of the giants have their own use case, maybe aside from the Rock Giant. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Were you surprised by any of the results? And anyways, thank you all for watching, and let me know if you have any suggestions for future videos.